Okay, this video is what I think about atheists. I've been getting some atheists commenting on my, abortion videos. Kind of weird that atheists would do that. Thought it would be like the religious people, but I guess they do too. But atheists have been asking me, like, prove that there's a soul. So I guess they're thinking there's no soul. And I had some disagreements about what atheism was. I think atheism is another ism. It's another religion. It's the agnostics that you could say aren't a religion. Agnostics are the people who put their hands up and go, I'm not going to go there, leave me alone, or tell me what you want, but I'm not going to tell you what I think. I don't know. But atheists are different from agnostics. Atheists know what they know. They know what they believe about spirituality, which makes them a religion. That's what a religion is. It's a group of people who agree on a certain sets of spirituality. You get a bunch of atheists in a room facing a bunch of real Christians arguing over spiritual concepts, and the atheists would all agree on what their definition of what they are and why and so forth, and the Christians would agree with each other about what they believe, and they could go back and forth, So atheism is a religion. Just because it's not an organized religion doesn't make it not a religion. New Ageism, I say is a religion, but it's not organized. So if atheism can't be a religion, then New Age can't be a religion either. I'll do a video on what I think about New Age religion. Atheists believe, as far as I know, I haven't Wikipedia'd it or seen any atheist videos. Maybe I should have. This is just me talking. But atheists believe that there's no soul. You have no soul. So when you die, it's like you never existed at all. You might as well, it's just nothingness. And if you bring the law of conservation of energy into it, well, your body and your soul or whatever is energy, or your body's, they'll just go, yeah, well, the energy of your body will just evaporate and go into nothingness, into space, and dissolve into nothingness. And that's pretty much the argument I had with my own brother, who's a Buddhist. I'm kind of thinking that Buddhists are atheists until I hear a Buddhist actually straight tell me. I mean, they believe in nirvana, so I guess Buddhists don't go there. So I wouldn't call them atheists, but that's what atheists believe. And then they also believe there's no God. So they believe that the universe is not alive. It's just a whole set of scientific laws, just randomly, or according to all the scientific laws, just happening over and over again for eternity, and it's not alive, and our lives and everything, it comes from just billions of years of evolution, and our bodies are just a result of our brains and all the synapses in our brains firing. And they would say that, and somebody asked me to prove that there's a soul, and they said define a soul and prove that it exists. So I said, a soul is that part of you that's eternal, and the universe is eternal. Nobody's going to doubt that. We are in the universe. So there you go. The soul exists because the universe is eternal, and there's a part of us that's eternal. So there you go. And they said, well, you can't find a soul in your body. You could chop your body up and you could find organs, and that's how I could prove to you there's organs, but you can't find a soul. And I said, well, Kirlian photography. And they go, well, that's just photography of your energy field. Well, that's your soul. Your energy field is your soul. Somebody said, what's your soul? I said, light. And they go, what, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, that's what your soul is. if you want more scientific proofs of the soul, take blood out of you, blood out of your kid, drive it across the country, think a happy thought. At that moment, the DNA in that blood of your blood that they took out will open, and if you get angry, it'll close at that moment. That's a way I would use to prove that there's a soul. I guess you could say, well, that's just, your energy field. Well, that's your soul. And that's proof that it exists. It's another scientific experiment. I said, prove that Angelina Jolie exists. And they go, well, there's photographs of her. Well, there's photographs of your energy field, which is your soul. Another good experiment is the double slit experiment, which proves the uncertainty principle. That is, when you shoot photons through two slits, and you take photos of them, the photons will act like waves of light and act randomly. But then if you look at them individually, then they'll suddenly become particles. So the photons that travel through the air, through the barrier and the slits, act differently. They actually make different patterns on the wall, whether the camera's turned on or not. So our minds actually control the physical universe. That's my proof that there's a soul. Our minds are the soul. Like we are in control. Reincarnation. If you believe in reincarnation, obviously you'd have to believe in the soul. I've made videos on reincarnation, but reincarnation would be that our body is our vehicle, and as we go in through lots of vehicles, cars in our life, same thing with the body. We go through lots of bodies in our life. But I said, but they're like, oh, but that's all faith. Well, hearing people tell you that Angelina Jolie exists is faith. Somebody giving you a DNA sample of her, that's faith, that's from her. So your faith, you're working on faith too. I said the main way that you could prove that there's a soul is all the little proofs. And you put all the little proofs together, and that has to create a big proof. Just like you gave me lots of reasons why Angelina Jolie exists. People have seen her, blood samples, photos, lots of little proofs. Each one you could dissect, but you put them all together and she exists. Same thing with the soul. You put all the ones I had mentioned and then more because I'm out of time, and put them all together and you know that there's a soul and that it's eternal, or that there's a God. Just like aliens are here. People go, well, you can't prove that aliens are here, so why are you going to talk about it? Well, yeah, you can. You just have to put all the little bits and pieces together, and then you'll know. You'll see it clearly. It's kind of like looking through a screen door. If you've got a thick screen door, and you're sitting still, and you're looking across at a person 30 feet away, you're not going to recognize them. It could be your friend, but you're not going to recognize them because the slits are going to break up their features. But if you move around and you put all the pieces together and you let it all melt into one picture, then you'll see them perfectly still, perfectly as if the screen's not even there. So that's why there's a soul. Now, atheism originally came about as a rebellion against Christianity. And they're kind of saying like, oh no, atheism has always been around. No, I don't think atheism has always been around. There's always been beliefs. Atheism originally came around, well, with the scientific revolution when they decided that they were going to believe in stuff based on fact. But that's because the Christians were believing in stuff and enforcing that based on faith, and they took it too far, so then the scientists kind of brought the pendulum way over here on this side. and now they're being just as pious and biased as the Christians way over here. Unfortunately, scientists are atheists. Not all scientists, but generally the scientific community is atheist. Oh man, I am out of time. I have so much more to say. I guess I'll continue this later.